Hello, I am Bernie Bro, and I hope this day finds you well. Well, I have been a socialist for officially since the mid 1990s. I and many people would ask, what is what exactly do you advocate? What society has done? What you advocate as a model that you would support? And for me, I would say the model that I go by, the standard that I go by, is what happened after World War II in Great Britain, United Kingdom of Great Britain. That is my model of socialism. It is not. It is not. It is not the Soviet Union. It is not Cuba. It is not Venezuela. It's not China. It's not North Korea. Those are communist countries, and there's a difference between socialism and communism. They're quarrelsome cousins, perhaps, but they are diametrically opposed. If you're a true socialist, you oppose communism. Um, the model I go for is what exists in Great Britain after World War II. Um, During the war, there was a mixed cabinet: Liberal Party, Conservative Party, British Labour Party. All three were in a shared cabinet, and the aim was to defeat Hitler. And we all put our political differences aside. I'm saying we. I'm not British, but um, they put their political differences aside, and it came up what was called a Beveridge report. Lord Beveridge came up with a report calling for the UK to adopt a national healthcare system after World War II. The Liberal Party, the Conservative Party, and the Labour Party all adopted it. No matter which party would have won after World War II, there would have still been a national health service. Well, af- after World War II, there was an election. I believe it was in July 1945. Winston Churchill versus Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee won decisively. They respected Churchill, but it was the times were changing, and Britain was in economic shambles, and they needed something drastically done to rescue the economy. Now you hear pundits in the United States will say, "Well, usually what happened to England, Margaret Thatcher came along and just cleaned up that mess." Well, she done a lot of damage to the United Kingdom from 1979 to 1990 when she was prime minister. But she could go only but so far because there were certain things she knew that if she did and try to follow the nightmare model of American healthcare, that'd have been in for the Tories forever. But I'm jumping way ahead into the future. After World War II, Britain was in shambles. Massive unemployment, just damage done to the infrastructure. Country was in shambles. The Labor Party came in and they decided to nationalize some crucial industries: coal, gas, electric, long distance trucking, airlines, what have you. And they were called public corporations. And these boards, or a couple of public corporations, were set up with trade union representatives, management in these companies, and the former owners. And the aim was to revitalize the British economy. From 1945 to 1951, that was the time of the Labor government. Um, they got elected in 45. They were reelected in 1950, and and even when Winston Churchill returned to 10 Downing Street, 1951, in that election, he hardly reversed any of the reforms done by Labor because it was so damn successful. The National Health Service, the crowning jewel of the Clement Attlee Labor government. This is Great Britain was one of the most capitalist countries in the world, and they experimented with socialism. It did not. The country did not fall apart. The sky was not falling. People have good jobs, good wages. In especially in the 1950s, it was kind of their version of the American dream. In fact, Tory Prime Minister Harold Macmillan once came up with the phrase, and it was kind of a weird way of complimenting Clement Attlee's achievement from 1945 to 51 when he came up with the phrase, "You never had it so good," and that was true. That was very true. And Great Britain is a first world country, and it's a wonderful country. I've been to London, and and I enjoyed my time there in the UK, and I talk to people from the UK, and I'm just like, yeah, and they all think we're bonkers in the United States for not having a national healthcare system. Almost every British person I met think that even conservatives in the UK love their national health service. Is it perfect? You're not going to find a perfect healthcare system. It's a hell of a lot better than what we have here in the United States when it comes to things like healthcare. But that is kind of like my model to follow. What they did in Great Britain after World War II is what I would favor here. I'm just giving a quick synopsis of basically the kind of socialism, and it's not restricted just to Great Britain. It's what the Social Democrats did to Sweden in the 1930s when they took over the Social Democrats, or the French Socialist Party. There was a lot of reforms, I believe, during the Mitterrand government in the 1980s. It's amazing how late in the game some of these governments were. Um, Go Whitlam in Australia, his Labor government brought about Medibank, which is their single payer system. I mean, we've seen in the Western world good things happening when Labor and Social Democratic parties are elected. Even our neighbors to the north, Canada, the Cooperative Commonwealth Federation, which later became the New Democratic Party of Canada. They never had a federal government, but they occasionally win provincial governments, and they have a strong enough presence in the House of Commons in the Canadian Parliament to sway liberals and conservatives toward their line of thinking. It's just a shame we do not have something like the NDP here in the United States, the New Democratic Party of Canada. I wish we had that kind of a political party here. But the point I'm trying to make is when labor governments, social democratic governments are elected in the Western world, it's not just even restricted to the Western world, even in developing countries, when labor governments and social democratic governments are elected, good things happen. Anyway, I am Bernie Bro, and those values are why I support Bernie Sanders, and I hope Bernie Sanders gets the nomination. Feel free to comment good, bad, or indifferent, and subscribe.